Hello everyone, welcome back to another tutorial. My name is Ezra and I'm a mechanic here at Utah Trikes. Today I'm going to show you how to properly service and maintain your trike. Depending on how much you ride, you may need to service your trike more frequently. We recommend doing this every riding season. So let's get to it. The first step in removing the tube and tire is to take off the valve cap. Then remove the air from the tube. Your tubes will generally come in either a Presta or Schrader valve style. On the Presta style tubes, you will need to unscrew the lock on the valve before opening the valve. To remove air from the tube, simply press down on the valve to open it until the tire and tube fully deflate. Then remove the lock ring to remove the stem. Once the tube is deflated, grab your tire levers and place both underneath the bead of the tire. The curved side of the lever should go under the bead and the flat edge should butt up against the wheel's rim. You can lock one of the levers by taking the hook side of the lever and attach it to one of the spokes on the wheel. Then take the other lever and sweep it under the bead of the tire, pushing the bead off the outside edge of the rim. Once the outer bead of the tire is off, pull the tire towards you to unset the bead on the other side of the tire. Then gently remove the tire and tube from the wheel. Make sure to pull the valve stem through the wheel rim when removing the tube. Once the tire and tube are off, it is usually good practice to inspect both for any wear if you are not already planning on replacing them. For the tube, get a tire pump and slowly fill it with air until it takes shape. Go around the tube with your hands, checking for any soft spots, bulging, stretching, or holes. On the tire, check for any cracking, worn down spots on the side wall, flat spots on the tread, or holes in the tire itself. If any of these conditions apply to either the tube or the tire, it may be time to repair or replace them. Make sure to check the correct rotation of the tire listed on the tire itself, then simply push the bead of the tire around the rim of the wheel, letting the outer bead hang out of the wheel. Next, grab your tube. Make sure it is fully deflated and place it into the tire. Push the valve stem up to the wheel rim and secure it by threading the lock ring on. This will help to hold the tube in place. Then tuck the rest of the tube into the inside of the tire. Next, start from the opposite side of the valve stem and start rolling the tire onto the wheel. It is best to roll the tire evenly along the wheel rim until you get back to the valve stem. Once you get to the valve stem, the bead will get difficult to roll over the wheel. You can use one of your tire levers to help roll the bead over the rim by placing it in between the tire and rim, then pushing along the wheel. This may take a little force to get it on. Next, we can put air in the tire. For this part, you will need a bike pump with the appropriate attachment for the style of valve that you have. As we mentioned earlier, the valve on your tube will come in either a Presta or Schrader style. Many bike pumps will be able to work for both, but be sure you have the correct one for your style. If you are in need of a tire pump, we have many different options for you on our website. Once you got your pump, place it on the valve and lock it in place with the lever on the back of the nozzle. After the nozzle is locked, you can then begin to slowly pump up the tire. As it fills with air, watch the bead of the tire and make sure it meets up neatly with the inside of the rim. Make sure the tire is seated and that there is no bulging on both sides of the wheel. After you seat your tire properly, you can pump the tire up to its recommended pressure. All tires come labeled with the recommended pressure somewhere along their side walls. We will pump this tire up to 55 psi, then we're done with the tires. Next, we will talk about cleaning the chain. Cleaning the chain is a simple process. You'll need some form of chain degreaser. We have degreaser for sale on our website, or a cleaning kit with a Prog Tool degreaser equivalent. Today we will be using this White Lightning Clean Streak degreaser. The easiest way to clean the chain is to use a chain scrubbing tool. We have this one made by Prog Tool on our website. As you can see, this uses a scrubber, brushes, and pads to clean the chain as you pull it through. Fill the bottom of the tool with your degreaser and then clamp it onto the chain. Turn the crank arms manually as you hold the tool on the chain. Allow the chain to pull itself through the tool and the tool will clean the chain for you. Once you get all of the chain cleaned, run it loosely through a clean rag to wipe off any excess degreaser. You may also do this process with simply a rag and degreaser, although it may take a little more effort to clean the chain completely. Grab a clean rag and spray it down with your degreaser of choice, and then run the chain through the soaked rag. Then with the dry part of the rag, repeat the process of drying the chain. When you clean the chain, you remove all the necessary lubrication that allows the chain to move smoothly. You will need to replace that lubrication with your choice of chain lubricant or chain wax. We have plenty of options for you to choose from on our website. Take your lubricant of choice and squeeze the bottle into the middle of the chain as you rotate the crank. Wipe off any excess lubricant and you're good to go. The next step is adjusting the rear derailleur. If you notice that your shifting is either too sluggish or skipping gears when shifting, you may need to adjust the tension of your derailleur. You can adjust the tension on the derailleur by turning the thumb screw located on the shifter cable either near the derailleur or near the shifter itself. If your chain is skipping gears, you will need to loosen the tension on the derailleur until the problem stops. On the other hand, if when you shift you feel sluggish getting into the next gear, you may need to increase the tension. Once it is properly tensioned, the gears should shift nice and smooth. For our last bit of maintenance, we'll talk about brake replacement and adjustment. To start with the brakes, we will remove the brake caliper and IS mount to inspect the condition of the brake pads. Taking a look inside of the brake caliper, we check how much life is left in the pad. When your pads reach the end of their life, they will look completely flat. To replace the pads, start by opening the caliper completely using the adjustment dials on either side of the caliper. Pull the brake pads out by either pulling on the tabs on the bottom or, using a small screwdriver or pick, push them out from the top. They should slide right out of the caliper. As you can see, the brake pads have a left and a right brake pad as noted by the small L and R etched on the back of the pad. They both have a smaller set of ears that will reinforce the pads in the caliper. To install them, place the clip onto one of the brake pads and line up the bridge of the clip in the middle of the smaller set of ears. Make sure the prongs on the clip are on the outside of the contact patch of the brake pad. Then sandwich the clip with the other brake pad, again making sure to place the bridge in between the ears. Finally, insert the pads with the bridge of the clip lining up with the hole at the top of the brake caliper. Note that the right brake pad should be on the side facing the wheel. Push the pads in until they click into place. Finally, we can reinstall the brake caliper and IS mount. Once the caliper is mounted back on the trike, we can adjust the clearance of the pads to the brake rotor. We want to bring the brake pads as close to the rotor as possible without them rubbing. To do this, adjust the dials on either side of the caliper until the pad contacts the rotor. Then reverse the adjustment by a couple of clicks at a time until the pad no longer makes any sound when you spin the wheel. Once the pads are spaced out enough, you can adjust the feel of the brakes by tightening the thumb screw for the brake cables similar to how we adjusted the derailleur. And now we're finished. We hope this video has helped you learn the basics of maintaining the equipment on your trike. We have all the tools and materials down in the description below or on our website. If you'd rather have your trike serviced for you, just give us a call or shoot us an email and we can set up an appointment with our service department. If you have any questions about anything in the video, please contact us. In the meantime, relax, spin fast, ride trikes.
Yeah. Wait, what did you just say? Smash?
Smash the like button and subscribe. Relax, spin fast, ride trikes. No! No, but that's good, that's good. Because we can fade to black, it's alright.
Because before I could steer.
Yeah, you can steer before, but you can't now. You can just... Outro. Take 2, if you can see the...
Yeah, you can. Sorry.
Take 3. Take 5. Take 6. Take 8. Take 9. Take 10. I wanna go home. It's only 12.
It's only 12 and I want to go home.
Alright.
Yeah.
Smash the like button.
Smash it. That's my favorite. Okay. And we're done.